And I'm using 2 types of whole wheat. I'm using regular whole wheat, 2 cups, and 1 1/4 cups of white whole wheat. You mix that together. You give it some salt, about a teaspoon, and then you add yeast, but not just any yeast. You add a yeast that's formulated for pizza. And why am I doing this? Because there is no rising time with this at all. Sprinkle it in dry. For those of you who think it's really hard to make dough, this is your salvation. So you mix that around. You add some water. Make sure it's at about 120 degrees. You need about a cup, cup and a quarter. You're just going to have to gauge it by getting your hands in that dough and making a nice supple ball of dough. So I'll know when I have exactly enough water by the feel of this. You could also do this in a food processor if you wanted to, but I think it's really fast just doing it by hand. A little bit more water. And I'm going to add a little bit of honey, about a tablespoon, just to help that yeast, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. All of that is going to add flavor. Just get it till it's nice and smooth and soft, and it's not resisting you. So you don't want to use too much flour because you really want to make sure that it's not going to be dry. So there's a ball of dough. I took these beautiful eggplant, these, the ones that I got out of the garden, and I just cut them into rounds. And then I just tossed them with a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, put them on a bake sheet, and put them in the oven until they were soft. You want to do that at about 350 degrees. It's going to take about 10 minutes to do. So then you let those cool down. So we'll just put that aside. So now we can work with our dough. So here is that nice dough, very healthy. We're going to cut that in half because I said we could make 2. And then I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper, a little bit of flour. We're not going to roll this. We're just going to pat this out with our hands. But this yeast has emulsifiers in it and stabilizers, which allows you to spread the dough without you having to let it rise. Because most dough, when it's rising, if you're using regular yeast, you know that had the gluten in it will snap back if the dough is not relaxed enough. Well, this dough is perfectly relaxed. Remember, we've already added salt and pepper to that eggplant, and we added a little bit of olive oil. But as I say, eggplant is so notorious that you can add a little bit of extra virgin over the top, just like that. Now, what are we going to do with this now? Well, now we're going to pop it in the oven. So you get out a trusty peel, or if you're not doing this on a stone, I have a stone in my oven that's heated to 450 degrees. You can do this on a bake sheet if you don't want to do it on a stone. But I have my stone preheated, ready to go. I got to watch this, otherwise it's going to go right on the floor. And there's my stone, and in it goes for about 15 or 20 minutes, depending on the size of the pizza that you made. So what am I going to have with this? Well, with it, I'm going to have salad and cheese. And for this particular pizza, we're going to have mozzarella cheese. And this is a soft cheese, a fresh cheese. And when that pizza is just about ready to come out of the oven, that's when we're going to put the cheese on and allow it just to melt. So you want to really cut the cheese up into very small pieces. But that's only part of it, because then we want salad greens with that. Now here are some beautiful salad greens. These actually came out of my garden. I washed and dried them. And all I really want to do is just tear them. See how fresh they are? It's a really nice crunch. We're going to give this a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, a pinch of salt, some white balsamic vinegar. Please don't put bottled dressing on this at all. And then we want to give that a nice toss. And when the pizza comes out of the oven, the cheese is melted on top. We cut it into wedges and we serve it with these fabulous greens from the garden.